Welcome everybody to Taste Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Xbox did it. They finally did it. They announced a handheld. All right. Before we jump into it, Pat couldn't make it today. He had a little accident at the petting zoo. He brought in a 6-pack of beer and a butt plug, and he'll be out of jail soon. Anyways, Phil Spencer, Xbox, has finally announced a handheld gaming console is in the works. Phil Spencer revealed, but Xbox fans shouldn't expect it in the immediate future. Rumors about the Xbox portable gaming device has been circulating, God, forever. And people really wanted it too when, Microsoft wasn't sucking. So several claims emerged over the course of 2024, with many of them being offered by Microsoft insider Jez Corden. I hope I pronounced that right because it sounds gross. Repeatedly insisted that an Xbox handheld console is in the works. Microsoft gaming CEO has finally confirmed that indeed is the case. Speaking to Bloomberg, the executive acknowledged that fans expect the company to do something in the portable gaming sphere. Microsoft has already started thinking about what that something could entail. And is presently in the process of prototyping its first ever handheld gaming system. Spencer said the official also noted that he asked his team to develop not just a handheld, but a full-fledged version for how Microsoft could compete in the portable gaming market. Bunch of jargon there, wasn't it? And while Microsoft's efforts on this portable handheld crap continues, Spencer says that the company's first handheld gaming console won't hit the market in the immediate future. Instead, it's still a few years away from release. So, Microsoft has been doing a lot of things lately. There's a little bit more to the article about Spencer talking about it, excuse me. And I personally have some feelings about this, especially with other news and advertisements that have been coming out from Microsoft here lately. But before I jump in with my big mouth, let's run into Nick. Nick has owned every handheld, I think, ever known to handheld mankind. So, Nick, what do you think about Microsoft developing a handheld console? And 2, why do you think it's going to suck so bad?
Well, I mean, I figured they would. That seemed like a given. We'd heard a lot of rumors about them developing an Xbox handheld console, and so it seemed like the rumors were pretty true. And then this just cements those rumors into being true. But I figure if it does come out, it's, hopefully they make it not like the Portal. Hopefully they make it more of like a device that you can download Xbox games natively onto it and play them. I don't know if they're going to make it that way. If I were to guess, I would assume that they're going to make it more of a Game Pass type of device where you get the device and you get Game Pass and you can stream games on the Xbox handheld through that, right? And that's basically it, because they say the company is currently in the process of prototyping device, but wants to improve the Xbox app experience on existing handhelds before making a portable gaming device of its own. That just tells me like their Xbox app is pretty crap. So that just tells me that they're waiting to kind of perfect the app. And the app you can do, I don't know if they're talking about the Xbox app itself or the Xbox Game Pass app. But like with the Game Pass app, you can, stream Game Pass games and stuff like that on like handheld devices like phone or something like that, or other devices like they've been saying in their ads. This is an Xbox, that's an Xbox, and you can stream all to those. So if I were to guess, I would assume that their handheld console is going to be more of a streaming device. It'll be a part of the this is an Xbox type thing, because they're going to, like I said, they're going to turn Xbox into a brand. And so they're going to make a lot of different ways for people to enjoy Xbox. And besides being able to do it with things that you own now, they also probably want to sell you a device, be it a console that you stick under your TV or one that you hold in your hands. They want to sell you something that you can access Xbox on, besides the other 20 million things you can access Xbox on. They want to sell you something else to access Xbox on. So I feel like that's what this is going to ultimately be. So, and they say a few years away, which is a little surprising, but that also tells me that it's possible, especially being a few years away, that this type of device may not see the light of day ever. Especially if it's years away. I don't know. Or they're just waiting to see, because they've turned Xbox into, like I said, into a platform, a brand. And so maybe they're just waiting to see how that turns out for them, where everything's an Xbox, how well that goes out for them in that. And if it goes out well, then they're going to be like, okay, cool. Now we can start creating other devices, right? Because then they'll start making they'll be selling like their Windows PCs and with this is an Xbox slapped on to it, right? But it's really just it's just a laptop, right? And various other things. They're going to try to market the crap out of it by putting this is an Xbox on a lot of devices that you'll see probably in stores with a lot of partnerships. You'll see that slapped on the box somewhere. And so that's their big marketing push. And then if Microsoft themselves can sell you something or a variety of things to, that comes straight from the horse, then, people will be more apt to buy it, I guess. So, yeah, I suspect that I think they're just, besides the Xbox app, I think they're just waiting to see how things go for them, maybe before they decide to go all in on their own devices, right? They're going to have consoles. I think they're still going to make set-top boxes. I just think the set-top boxes that you're going to get from Microsoft, maybe not the next one, but definitely from that point, if this works out well for them, this is an Xbox thing, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see set-top boxes in the future that are not they're not like your traditional console today, where it's a generational leap, but it's more of a gateway to get into the Xbox ecosystem, right? Kind of like what is that? It was Amazon Fire Sticks or Samsung televisions or whatever. It's going to be something that you can plug in to access, just like a gateway to Xbox as the platform, and not necessarily a device that in the future, right? And I don't know how far in the future that would be, but I think that's eventually where they're headed ultimately.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a mistake myself, because everything is an Xbox. So why do I need a Xbox branded portable gaming device if I can do it on my Steam Deck or
I mean,
or the other?
That's true, but the PlayStation Portal, I don't know how well that's sold for Sony, but they seem to think that people need that, even though you could do that already on devices that were out there.
Well, the difference is the devices that are already out there aren't making Sony money. That's the difference.
Exactly. That's the difference for Microsoft.
But I can't see Microsoft because it's the approach. Microsoft is saying everything's an Xbox. Sony is saying, no, this is a PlayStation, and it's a PlayStation that you can use on the toilet. That's the big difference. I mean, PlayStation has narrowed it down to two things, and Xbox is narrowing it down to everything, including the litter box. And some even say the Xbox Series X is an Xbox, but I'm not sure about that. I think they're just too all over the damn place, because to me personally, I would not buy no, I'm going to say that depending on the device itself, specs, and cost, I most likely would not buy a Microsoft branded portable console handheld. I would rather just buy a Steam Deck or the Lenovo or whatever. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me to do that unless they come in with a quality device at a quality cost. That doesn't eat the bank, but I can still play it and play it well. But it cannot be a streaming device. That's one thing they cannot do. I think that would just be a big failure. I mean, immediately out of the box. I don't think you'd even get the damn box open. I think it would fail that hard. Honestly, what Microsoft should do in the Xbox brand, partner with Nintendo for the Switch too. Really, say Nintendo, we'll create the console, we'll create the handheld, we'll do all of that for you. Just let us put Game Pass on there. That's what they should do if they want to make it that way, because Nintendo is going to sell those handhelds like nobody's business. Microsoft is going to sit on stock. Hey, do you remember your Windows phone? Yeah, barely. Do you remember Zune? Yeah, barely. Those are Microsoft devices. Microsoft only hardware Microsoft really is good with is the Xbox brand, and they haven't done that great with that either lately. So I personally feel it's a mistake. Granted, if it wasn't the fact that Microsoft has done the dumbest shit for the last few years, I might have had more hope for it. Say 2 years ago, before Phil Spencer and whoever else decided to make the dumbest ass choices with Microsoft instead of continuing the progress. I would have probably been like, yeah, you know what? I might be able to get into this because like I've said 1,000 times, Microsoft, the Xbox is my console. I prefer to play my games on that console. Third party, well, I always played on that console. I would have probably picked one up, a handheld from them a couple of years ago before, Microsoft just started pissing away all their goodwill and everything they've built up. So I think it's a mistake. I think Microsoft, and you're probably right, it probably won't see the light of day unless the handheld has something to do with their next gen console. Maybe they're going to try to switch it. It'll be a handheld docking into like a more powerful system where you can play. Basically, the Series S version is on the go, and then the Series X is when you dock it and get that extra up kind of thing. That's the only way I could see that going, personally. But, that could be a conspiracy theory. That could be facts. I don't know. What do you think? You're a tech guy. You think there's any fidelity of going, click, now I get more power?
No.
Then I'm wrong and I'm going to hell. So,
I mean, I don't think they would go that direction with it.
I just don't see it working in any format for them, in any way for them to produce a handheld, especially with their track record of hardware. Like the Surface, is that any good? I know of it.
They still make them.
Do they? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they any good? See, yeah. You said I asked the question. I said, are they any good? You said the first thing was they still make them.
Oh, I was just saying.
They make gas chambers. It doesn't mean they're any good.
Yeah, the Surfaces aren't bad. They're not bad.
Okay. So already you don't have my enthusiasm for this because your first response was, yeah, they make them. So
I mean, I figured you thought the Surfaces were dead, but no, they still make Surfaces.
So if you would have said, oh yeah, they're not bad, they still make those, I'd have been in one way to say it. But all I got from you was, they're still a thing. Okay.
Yeah. Would I buy a Surface? No.
But
I don't need it, right? So
no, but I don't need an Xbox handheld either.
No,
because I can get it on Steam Deck. So So it's to me, it's gonna have to knuckle down to price and quality. So,
Yeah.
but if they do, and they do hit those marks, and they stop making the dumbest damn decisions, I might pick one up, but I wouldn't promise that. I mean, there's maybe a 12 to 13% chance. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they make a lot of the stuff Microsoft has made has not physical stuff, right? Has not
Yeah.
worked out for them very well. I mean, I used to have a Zune. I liked my Zune.
I still have a Zune.
I used to have a Windows Phone. I liked that too.
You did, and then you got rid of it really goddamn quick.
Well, because there was nothing on it.
Exactly.
Even though the phone itself wasn't that bad, but the marketplace had nothing on there. Unfortunately. But I liked the phone. It just didn't have anything on it. So it's yeah. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work out for them, but I mean, the direction they're going is, like I said, I just don't see them staying in I do see them making consoles, but more of like, I think of it like a DVD player or something, right? A company comes out with a new DVD player. It plays better than the last one, but it's still
the same.
Still
DVD
the same
player.
thing. Yeah. And that's how I feel like their consoles are going to eventually get to, is where it's still it's a better Xbox, but it's a gateway now. Instead of it being like a bigger, better, more beefier computer, it's just a better gateway.
It's an
into
upgrade.
That
it's the 1.0, and the next will be the 1.2.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see that, but I also hate that.
Oh yeah, I hate it too. I just that's just where I see them going.
I don't want to see,
I don't want them to see them go that way, but I feel
mid-gen refreshes are okay, as long as they're worth it. Like the Xbox One X was a hell of a console, still is, and it was a great mid-gen jump. PS5 Pro is garbage, and it's not a mid-gen. It's not good enough to be called a mid-gen jump. And so if they're going to do that more incremental, then that's a complete waste of my time. I'd rather just buy a new freaking graphics card for my computer, and there, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, because what did they say? They said that the next Xbox would be the largest technological leap.
Yeah,
and the technological leap makes me wonder, what does that mean, right? Because that doesn't necessarily mean like a bigger graphics card and a faster processor. That's
60
not necessarily that's not necessarily a technological leap. You're just putting in a bigger, that's like, I mean, I guess it would be for someone like if you upgraded from your GT 1500 to a 4090, then I guess that would be a technological leap for you, right? But I mean, like, we get graphical leaps, with every generation of consoles. Yeah. So, does that mean they're just going further than they normally would? Or does that mean something completely different for the next console? Right? As far as a technological leap, like what does that necessarily mean? And I'm not sure what that means.
So when the Series X has, and I'm just using the teraflop argument. So the Series X has a 12.155 teraflops. And then the One X had 6 teraflops. So is it kind of like, I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like the bit era, 8, 16, 32, and then they got out of that. Now we're talking about flops. So they went from, I think the original Xbox One was like 2, and then the Xbox One X is 6, and everybody was like, oh my God, 6 teraflops. Oh my God. And then some of us were going, what the fuck is a teraflop? That was me. So, but now the new one's got 12.155, and I believe the PlayStation 5 Pro has 15. So that's like 3 teraflops more, I guess, than what it PS5 has. So is it going to be kind of like that, you think, where just everything's doubling in flops? I mean, I don't, because that's the only way I can see it. Because the old days it was bits, and now it's flops.
I don't.
And Microsoft knows flops.
They do. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, because again, that's just what we would expect, right? I mean, because Microsoft. I mean, again, when they said that, that could just be all like corporate fluff,
yeah,
right? Just to keep people interested. But if they actually meant something by it, then that makes me feel like there's something different than just a graphical, because that's what we would expect, right? We don't know how high they would go, so you can't say, oh, this one's the what they say the largest, the largest technological leap. So largest technological leap just means like
more than double, because that's
more
what they did
than
the last
what
time.
we would expect, but I don't know if we really expect anything, right? Because we don't know what the specs are going to be. We're not, when the Xbox One came out and then the Xbox Series X came out, there's probably analysts that probably analyze and say this is probably what they're going to have in it, but no one really knows until it's revealed, right? Yeah. So no one says, oh yeah, they had 5 in the Xbox One, so I bet they'll have 10 and or whatever. Like nobody knows. So I don't know if that just means like higher technologically, as far as like the advancement is a lot bigger than we would expect, or something completely different. But then if you make the advancement so technologically leaped, then the device becomes so expensive that no one's going to buy your technologically leaped device.
Well, I think next gen consoles, full next gen, not mid gens, but full next gens, I think they're going to highly incorporate AI.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm betting shiny pennies that's what Microsoft's kind of hinting at. It's going to be some sort of AI powered driven thing.
But I mean, like, again, they might, it doesn't really matter in that if they outprice the market, right? Or if they outprice consumer.
No, and they will, and they will try, because everything's an Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna matter. So I don't know. I hate what Microsoft is doing, and I don't see this handheld going anywhere, because it's just Microsoft's record. Microsoft always tries things, so that's good for them, and I'm sure when they do create devices that do fail, that technology ends up going to other places and being used in good ways, because everybody creates turds, and sometimes you can find a diamond in that turd. So depending on what the dog ate. So, but anyways, I think it's going to flop. I hope Microsoft does a 180 on a lot of these ideals of theirs anymore, but don't expect it. You have anything else, bud? All right. Well, Nick is out of words. I'm out of words, except for these words. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit those notifications, all the good things that we enjoy that help us out on this channel. But don't forget, most importantly, feedback. We want your feedback. What do you think about Microsoft's strategy with the Games Anywhere, with the handheld? What do you want to see from it or not see from it, or just never want to see it? Period. Let us know in the comments below. And until next time, see ya.